Alright, welcome back to a Operator Mastery. As requested by someone in the comments, we are going to go into Thatcher this time. So also, just remember, if you have a request, leave it down in the comments and I'll put it on my scheduling of uploads. I have a lot more free time now, so I can upload at least once a day. So I will be continuing to upload once a day. So if you have any suggestions at all, it doesn't have to be Operator Mastery, remember to leave it in there. And let's get into this Operator Mastery for Thatcher. If you're new to the Operator Mastery series, we go over basically everything basic about the operator. We don't go into too much detail and it's not very advanced, so this is more for the novice or beginner type level, but it still could be useful for more advanced players if you want a refresher on how you should be playing an operator. And this time we're going to be going over Thatcher. So if you're unaware, we go through a little cycle here. We always start off with the operator video because no one ever actually watches them, and I find that surprising because they're actually pretty cool and they show the basics of the operator and give a brief understanding of what it is. So we always start off with that. I go over the best class, or at least in my opinion the best class. Then we go over just play styles and how you should be playing her, and some strengths, pros, cons, a lot of things about the operator, just A to Z, everything you need to know about Thatcher before you get into a game with him. So we're gonna go ahead and hop into the operator trailer. If you don't want to watch this, it's about 15 to 30 seconds, so just double tap and you'll get right past it, but I would recommend you actually sticking around and watching it. They're pretty cool.
GPS satellites, unmanned drones, fucking laser sights. The more crutches you have, the more it hurts when they're kicked out from under you. If there's one thing I know for sure, it's that a 6-inch blade never loses reception.
Thatcher is by far one of the most essential support operators that you need on the attacking side in every single game that you play. Thatcher's EMPs can destroy any defensive utility device that is electronic, obviously, and most notably its breach denial operator, so it can destroy mutes, bandits, cades, whatever jammers they have, and it can also destroy vault cams, other cams, stuff like that, and it also disables yokai drones from the echo drones for a brief moment. So overall, you basically need a Thatcher. He's just a better version of any other operator that can do the same thing. Better than Twitch, better than anyone else that might be good at helping out Thermite and Hibana and getting through and breaching into the site. So Thatcher is in every rank ever. That's one of these operators that's always there, and it's just one of the foundational operators of every single team. So regardless of if you're a copper or a diamond, you're gonna have a Thatcher in your game, and you're gonna need a Thatcher that can at least just throw the EMP at the right walls, which we'll go over that easily in the forthcoming minutes. But for now, just know Thatcher is a necessary operator. If you want to main just one operator, he is the one to do it on attacking side. A solid gun, solid 2-gun options, very reliable utility, doesn't mess up much, and it's vital to the team's success. So that is a long list of reasons why you should be considering maining Thatcher if you are trying to find a new main. So let's get into the Thatcher's class and which class I would recommend. You have two good options here with the L85A2. You also have the AR33, and there's also the shotgun that all of the operators and smoke, mute, they all have the same shotgun, the M590A1. I wouldn't recommend this on attacking, but you always can switch it up if you want to, but I would recommend the L85A2 over all of those due to its strong damage and pretty good fire rate and basically no recoil. So it's always a good gun for beginner type players. AR33 is also pretty good, so both of those could be good, but just know the AR33 has more fire rate, but the L85 has more damage. My ideal class setup would be the L85A2. I would equip an ACOG on that. You could also do a hollow if you're trying to be more aggressive and have a less deep line of sight, which of course the ACOG is a strong sight there, so you're going to be wanting to play more at range whenever you do have an ACOG. But for the most part, ACOG is the move there. I also like compensator on this, and of course the only grip there that is a good option is just the vertical. So that's what I would suggest for the L85. If you do choose the AR33, also equip an ACOG and all of the other stuff. The muzzle is usually pretty opinionated, but compensator, just know that is for holding down the trigger, and muzzle brake is just one shot, and then a flash hider is a small burst of shots. So it just controls your recoil based on that. For the most part though, I feel like compensator actually controls the gun the most over a long duration of time, and in siege sometimes you gotta pre-fire, so I prefer to have the compensator, but of course choice. Everything at the end of the day, it's your choice. You pick your operator. Moving on to the secondary weapon, we have a pistol there, and you always want to equip just a one-shot muzzle brake on there. On some pistols, you might want to do suppressor to get cameras quietly, but in this case, it doesn't really matter. You don't use your pistol that much, so I would equip whatever you want. And now we're going to move on to the gadget. You have the choice between a claymore and a breaching charge. For the most part, you'll want to pick a claymore as it has actually some kill potential, while the breaching charge, you're never really going to need it as a Thatcher, since you are going to be rolling with the support operators anyway, which are usually Thermite, Maverick, and Hibana. So you're never going to have to actually breach into any walls most of the time. So I would recommend a claymore, watch your flanks, watch runouts, and etc. So that's the class I would recommend. L85 with the only pistol choice you have and a claymore. That would be my overall setup, and that's the one I use personally. And as with every setup, always go into terrorist hunt. I always practice with terrorist hunt with any operator I try to use. You got to get used to the gun perfectly, work on your crosshair placement, and just remember that aim is everything in this game. So just remember to practice your aim with every operator's gun. Get good at crosshair placement, and if you guys want more about how to get better crosshair placement, always get headshots, just aiming right at the head, then just let me know in the comments. I'll teach you guys how to do that. It's a lot to do with your DPI and sensitivity, so there's a hint there. We're gonna go ahead and sway away from guns and class and loadouts and all that such, and we're gonna go into the utility and how we should be using the utility. Thatcher, he has 3 of his EMP grenades, and this utility allows Thatcher to destroy any electronic defensive utility permanently, or sometimes temporarily if it's like an echo drone, but most things it is permanently, such as bandit charge, mute charges. And for the ones that are temporarily, just remember echo drones will fall to the ground, and if you throw it at a maestro cam, this is, some people just don't know this for some reason, you throw it at the maestro cam, the camera lens will open up and you'll be able to shoot it, as that's how maestro works. It's all electronic, so it opens up whenever you hit it with an EMP, so it's an easy maestro cam destroy. So now we're gonna go into how we should use that utility. We have so much utility with those 3 EMP grenades. We can do so much with it, but for the most part, you're gonna want to roll with the support operators on your team. Follow up Thermite and Hibana. Make sure they're going to the right walls to destroy. Always destroy the right walls. Don't be going upstairs or anything with Hibana and getting hatches. Always go with the Thermite if you have a Thermite, because they're most likely going to get the main wall into the site, and you can help them get it by destroying the bandits and or mute jammers and or the Cades. Only thing with the EMP grenade, just don't throw it into an anti-grenade system like Jaeger's ADS's. It'll destroy it just like a grenade. It has the same trajectories as a grenade. The only thing that's different is it has no cooking time. So sometimes instead of throwing it in a door, just throw it on the outside of the door. It'll destroy all of the electronics without having to throw it in and risk it hitting an ADS system and just wasting one of your 3 EMP grenades. Obviously that's never fun, but what if maybe there is no breach denial? So there is no bandit, mute, or Cade on the team. You could still support your team by disabling all traps and other utility. You're gonna have to play it a little different now. You don't really have to play with any Thermite or Hibana. They have it on their own now. So all you have to do is try to get some gadgets down, try to destroy some Legion mines or some other traps, Ella Grismont mines, whatever you can do there to help your team. Just remember you are a support player when you are Thatcher, and play like one. Now the only true counter to being able to Thatcher walls and doing that is Cade tricking and bandit tricking, which is basically you can't really Thatcher it except if you time it perfectly. Right when your Thermite puts it down, they're gonna bandit it or Cade it, and it'll destroy the Thermite charge or Hibana charges, and you can't really do much about it besides throw your EMP and hope for the best. But that's why you got to just learn the timing and everything, and hopefully teams aren't trying to bandit trick and Cade trick on everything, and if they are, you can always just rotate walls, and they can't bandit trick everything is what I'm saying. So in short, Thatcher EMPs can destroy a lot. It can destroy any Electroclaw, any signal disruptor, any shock wire by the bandit, any Capcan traps, gas canisters from smoke, ADSs from Jaeger, Valkyrie black eye cameras, Ella's Grismont mines, Legion's goo mines, and even C4s. Now also things that it temporarily disables, so we went over this, Echo yokai drones. It also temporarily disables bulletproof cameras. It temporarily disables Vigil's ability, alibis, pulse, and Clash's shield taser. And don't forget that it also opens up Maestro's evil eyes. So overall, that is all the basics of Thatcher and everything that you ever would need to know about Thatcher. And just remember, Thatcher is a support playstyle, and you got to learn how to play some support sometimes, because a lot of teams, if you're a ranked player, you're going to have to play support a lot, because a lot of people just want to frag out and be a fragger, and that's just not how you're going to win. So you're going to have to play Thatcher, you're going to have to play Thermite, you're going to have to play these operators that some people don't want to play. Just remember, Thatcher and Thermite work so well together, and you two could single-handedly just win the game. So overall, this is a pretty easy operator to get the grasp of. It's just you got to learn the timing, and overall it's about medium difficulty. So I would suggest learning with this operator. It's a good operator to learn. It's a good support operator, and now it's just one of the original operators in the game, so it's a cheap one. So hopefully this helps you guys out if you are newer to the game, and if you aren't, I hope you still learn something new, maybe something about what it can disable. A lot of people didn't know it could disable Vigil for a short amount of time or open up Maestro Cam, so hopefully this showed something of use. If you did learn something of use, hit a like. That would be greatly appreciated. And just remember, this isn't the end-all be-all operator guide to Thatcher, as there are more advanced things that you're going to need to learn, but that comes with play time with the operator. Always get a load of hours in with an operator, and then you'll be an absolute expert at that operator. So just remember, this is just coming from another Siege player that is, I would like to say, above average at the game. Usually end between Plat 2, Plat 3 if you want a example of my skill level, which isn't the best, but I'm definitely in the top 20-25% of the entire game. So I'm not just some average player just telling you exactly what to do and have no substance to back it up. Anyways, guys, let me know what you guys want to see next, what operators you want to see next, and any other video suggestions you guys have. I'm focusing on the tips and tricks side of Rainbow Six Siege. I feel like not a lot of people do it anymore. A lot of people have fallen away from it and doing gameplay, but there's still a lot of things that need to be learned, and a lot of new players coming onto Siege that don't know what they're doing. So I like to bring more updated guides, and we're in 2020 now, so we gotta just educate all the new players, make sure they're getting up to date. And with that, guys, hopefully you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next one.